So Venkat, let's kind of talk more about PI planning, but let's highlight some benefits of PI planning.
Oh, definitely, Vivek. Um, Lots of benefits. Lots of benefits. Uh, I consider PI planning as a party for the PI.
Nice.
You know, uh,
Party. Who's invited to party?
everyone who you need. You know, all near and dear. When we say all near and dear, all near and dear for the product increment.
Okay.
And
So Scrum Master, product owner, development teams, architects, stakeholders, product managers, solution architects, release train engineers.
all the stakeholders, and we don't need to forget
Mm,
the beauty of SAFe is,
mm,
unlike the conventional methods, suppliers and vendors are not excluded in the framework.
mm,
When we talk about multiple agile teams and bringing all these agile teams together, forming which we call as agile release train,
mm-hmm.
uh, we are not excluding vendors and suppliers. So, which makes vendors and suppliers also part of the PI planning. So one important advantage is that we have everyone who is concerned or involved
Mm,
to make a concept to cash, convert to cash
mm,
on one platform. Imagine all your family members, leaving no one,
right.
coming into one party. Can you plan a family event better?
Yes.
It's the same thing,
Got you.
right? So we have everyone. The advantage here is quick decision making.
Quick decision.
So if I have a question or a decision to be made, pending decision to be made, which I cannot decide from an architecture standpoint, I have a system architect there.
Got you.
No one stops me to go and collaborate with system architect if he's available. Mr. Architect, can I do this? Either he can say yes or no, or he can suggest something else.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the quick decision. Imagine if the system architect, these stakeholders who we require to make a decision with are not there, we put an email in conventional methods.
Right.
And we all know
Right.
whether the emails are quickly acted upon or how much time would they take. Sometimes they can even be missed.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So quick decision making. Second thing is establishing this face-to-face communication, which is the agile principle, individuals and interactions over processes and tools. Right.
Right.
Face-to-face interaction, we can tie names to face. After all, I always say that 8 hours of the 24 hours in a day we are spending at work with our colleagues.
Mm.
If we don't understand who they are, what their interests are, how they behave, what is their personality, if we can't recognize them by face, like if we can't tag the name to the face, how are we developing that relationship? Right? So PI planning is also a great platform to build those relationships within that work area. And after all, things can be done well to its best when there are good relations.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's one thing which PI planning brings in: face-to-face communication across all the team members and stakeholders.
Right. And then that collaboration now in COVID times, you can still do that with breakout rooms and Zoom and
so many. Zoom provides a good Zoom provides a good feature of breakout rooms, and so many online tools. But see, that face-to-face collaboration, it doesn't mean sitting on one table face-to-face. It's just about seeing each other's face, be it in person on two sides of the table or on screen.
Yeah.
Just to connect face-to-face, right? The other important thing is alignment. The best alignments happen when everyone is in the same room, isn't it? Because there is a lot of transparency. When there is a transparency, alignment takes place very quicker.
So like business stakeholders, developers, they come together and business comes with a context and says, we want to serve our customers like this. We want to build this. So there is and developers are kind of thinking, okay, how do we go about delivering that solution? So there is that instant Q&A, understanding, empathy, all of that is happening.
It's an interaction, right? It's an interactive planning phase. It's a collaborative planning phase. Sometimes we call it a collaborative design. So the design is not technical design. It's a design how the product is being built, right? It's the way the product delivery is getting designed. It's a collaborative design aspect of it. This is what I want in this quarter. Can you do this? Yeah, we can do these pieces provided you give me this. And we can deliver, we can give you this at this point of time. Are you okay with it? So these are the types of interactions which go in the PR planning. That's the important aspect of PR planning, right? That's the alignment which is happening.
Right.
So while this alignment is happening, this is based on identifying those dependencies between stakeholders and the teams, or between the teams, or between the team members. Identifying and fostering cross-team and cross-art collaboration.
100%. So, we've used this in our trainings before. So, for example, if a company like Google or Microsoft, were to plan for an initiative, their quarterly initiative, they would have the Microsoft Word team, Microsoft Search team, Amazon Search team, the Hotmail team, Office Suite team. So there are different teams, and maybe they would come together and say, okay, well, this next increment, we want to do this. So here's what we need from you guys. And here are some of the risks. So you're sharing the dependencies and risk, and you're visualizing, you're at least talking about it so you can go ahead and reduce them.
Yeah, I mean, it is proved. Everyone knows that, right? However the complex the problem is, it can be solved through talking.
Right.
So this, I mean, the requirement, if you consider that as a problem statement, it can be solved easily when we interact collaboratively.
Yeah. And then I want to do a callback and what we talked about, it can help. A lot of the problems can be solved with talking when the right people are talking. And like you said, instead of just the managers talking, the functional folks talking together, being in the space, yes, that can definitely be very advantageous to a business trying to create whatever they're trying to create.
Yeah. So, and it also brings in the advantage of knowing what the team's capacities be. You have a history of the team, how much. I mean, if you talk about the methodologies we use to estimate the team's capacity, which we call as story points or velocity, right?
Right.
So it also brings in that advantage for us to align and match the demand to the capacity of the teams, eliminating excess work if they are accepting,
Right.
And that's how the triangle is inverted. So in conventional method, the top level or the managers, they commit on behalf of the team, right? But here what's happening is they're not committing on behalf of the team, but they are getting a commitment from the team, giving a predictability to the customer.
Got you. And then the business is saying, okay, well, if it's a 3 months time box, and if we understand your capacity, here are the top features, 10 features we want you to focus on in the next. And
it creates the scenario of just the right thing to be done.
Right.
So I use this funny statement, do the right thing at the right time for the right cause by the right people.
Right.
So this statement is all talking about how the PR planning was. This is a true statement which can be tagged to the PR planning. Nothing left. Everything is right.
Yeah, definitely. No, I can definitely see that advantage, even from like thinking about, having UX folks involved, our technical architect and product owner, product manager, scrum master, the development team, because everybody, there are certain things that are important to them. So, a product owner, they're thinking more about the roadmap and the next increment, versus UI UX person is thinking about the flow of like how customers is going to experience the product, versus Scrum Master probably is thinking, okay, facilitation, coaching, improving the teams, and stakeholders has their mind on the money, right? So like, how do we actually survive in this marketplace? What do we need to build next? So yes, it makes sense just kind of really bringing all of them together, doing a collaborative meeting, and coming up with a good good goal for an objective for teams to focus on in that program increment. So that was great. Thank you.
And one important thing is many people think that SAFe, when we talk about these roles, why do we need project managers? But the organization still have project managers. Where do we stand here? Right? We have directors. There is no one called as director here. But where do they stand here? No, that's where we need to understand. PI planning or the SAFe framework talks about those roles which are important to make this framework work, and to take the teams and take the program teams to success. Doesn't mean that we don't need those roles. If the organization is looking for those roles, we can bring in those roles as system teams here who support, right? When we talk about these roles, we are not talking about resourcing. We are not talking about people employment. Who needs to take a decision of who should be in the team, right? Recruit the team members. Gotcha. So those things can be taken care by these people, people managers. But, right? So they can be part of that PMO team, which acts as a systems team, supporting the program team, supporting the art from the outside.
Yeah.
Right. So there might be dependencies tagged to this also, letting them know that we need so many people. We want to recruit them by this time, right?
Got you.
So those dependencies can also be identified here. So it gives, so it provides a platform for all that is required to make the product happen or to make the product increment happen successfully.
Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. We will sure to come back with more exciting videos on Agile topics.